I'm sure that he would love to have a permanent home there. And the one thing holding him back is Meghan Markle, because she is telling us through her actions that she has no desire to return. Yeah, the Duke of Westminster was definitely considered one of the most eligible bachelors in the UK. He's handsome. He comes from a really wonderfully thought of family and was named the UK's wealthiest person under 40 for the second year in a row in the Sunday Times Rich list. And that happened just a week ago. So, women are flipping through the pages and their spirits are being crushed as they realize that he is days away from being no longer available. He is an Olympian and has competed in skeet shooting competitions. He's got a great reputation of being not only a part of what you would call high society, but of just being a good human. And again, friends to both Prince William and Prince Harry. I'd say the Duke of Westminster has a long history with both Prince William and Prince Harry and is the godfather to Prince George and Prince Archie. They come from similar circles. Their families have been friends forever. And I think that they can all kind of relate to each other and what they've gone through. The Duke losing his father at a young age, both princes losing their mother at a young age, and then just kind of that society and that aristocratic environment. They know a lot of the same people and kind of just travel in the same circles. There is a new report from the Times that says the Duke of Westminster made a phone call to Prince Harry to invite him to his wedding, but Prince Harry made a civilized agreement not to attend and make things awkward for Prince William. But that contradicts reports from December 2023 that the Duke initially wanted to invite Harry and Meghan, but later decided against it after realizing their presence might be an unwelcome distraction. And if you think back to December 2023, we were at the height of Omid Scobie's book leak, which accused both King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales, of racism against the Duke of Westminster's godson, Archie, which ultimately few people, especially in the royal circles, believed as truth and chalked it up to more, vitriol from Harry and Meghan. It was funny, though, because it was later reported that a source close to Harry and Meghan was at pains to explain to gossip site Page Six that both Harry and Meghan had in fact received invitations but had jointly decided to decline. Both of the princes have or had a good relationship with Hugh. In fact, when they attended the Duke's sister's wedding in 2004, it was reported that crowds of teenage girls screamed, "Marry me, William," as he walked into the cathedral. Prince William is expected to be an usher at the Duke's wedding, and I personally disregard reports that he's only being given the usher opportunity because Harry's not there. If it's choosing the heir or the California spare to play a prominent role in your big day, the heir is a no-brainer. And while the Sunday Times originally reported that Prince Harry would sit out the social event to avoid royal tensions overshadowing the day, I think the reality is that a lot of people have turned their backs on Harry in his old life, and he doesn't really feel welcome. And we heard that with Meghan Markle, that the reason she wasn't returning to the UK for the Invictus Games is that she didn't feel welcome. But actions do have consequences, and maybe Prince Harry is thinking about that this week, missing his friend's big day and having no one representing his family there to celebrate his daughter's third birthday. And there were reports months ago that still bubble that Harry turned down the invitation because he felt slighted by the fact that William was originally assigned an important role at the wedding instead of Harry, because Harry assumed he was closer to the Duke. So I still question whether Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were a welcome presence at the wedding of the Duke of Westminster and Olivia Henson. I'm not so sure. Well, initial reports suggested that Harry and Meghan declined this invitation back in December. Whether Harry and Meghan were not going in December of 2023, whether they were not invited or whether Harry and Meghan declined the invitation, I think, is what the question is. But there's no question, to your point, that Harry makes it very difficult when it comes to reconciliation. The king offers Harry a place to stay. Harry argues that it's not safe enough. Harry tries to set boundaries around when he does finally get to meet with the king. Harry tries to negotiate who can be in the room. Harry just does not make things easy when it comes to the family trying to rally and to sit down and to get together. Harry tries to negotiate things, which seems silly considering the fact that he's kind of jeopardized his relationship with them through his own actions. I do think ultimately that will happen, where old friends, are going to feel like they have to choose a side. And this isn't the first time we've seen it. I also think that Harry and Meghan probably don't necessarily want to be at some of these events, Meghan especially. But there's the final scene on the Netflix docuseries where Harry suggests that he misses certain aspects of royal life. And I do think it's these gatherings. I do think it's, the kind of the bizarreness. I mean, when you've lived in the United States for a little while, you realize that there is so much shine and sparkle when it comes to the royal family and when it comes to UK pomp. And we really lack that here in the States. I mean, Harry's going through the drive-thru at In-N-Out Burger in California, and I'm sure he does miss some of the traditions, some of the choreography. It's the beauty in the uniforms. It's the beauty in the repetition of some of these ceremonies and some of these beautiful just events that happen in the UK that don't happen in the United States very often. And I don't think that necessarily appealed to Meghan, because she's had a very negative experience so far, but it's what Harry grew up with. It's what he knew. And I do believe ultimately he misses that life. He misses some elements of that life, and that he misses the friendships and the tradition and just the beauty of it all, because he is in a beautiful part of the world in Montecito, California, but it's dramatically different than the UK, and it's dramatically different when it comes to respecting your elders, and when it comes to just kind of the traditions that we see in the UK. I know I've used that word repeatedly. I need to open up a dictionary and find a new one. But I just think that he probably does miss the historic value of where he came from. I definitely believe that if Prince Harry could do both, he would. I think that Prince Harry was devastated over the fact that he lost Frogmore Cottage, because that was going to be a UK sanctuary and a safe space. I mean, all of this talk of security, Frogmore Cottage really was a very safe space for Prince Harry and his family. He lost that space. That was a gift to him given by the Queen. And, I understand why the royal family said, if you're not going to live here, there's no reason for this enormous space that is incredibly expensive to just sit here empty. I actually think that the royal family was in the right to take it back. But I do think that hurt Prince Harry and frightened him a little bit, because he realized that he was kind of alone on an island. I mean, Montecito, California, but he was kind of, he didn't have an option to go back and have this comfortable space where he knew where to find his favorite pair of socks or whatever. Now he's staying in whatever hotel he can stay in when he visits. And I'm sure that he would love to have a permanent home there. And the one thing holding him back is Meghan Markle, because she is telling us through her actions that she has no desire to return. So we know Harry greatly misses his home country. We know that he wants to continue to be active there. I mean, that's really what that Invictus event was, that we saw him at a few weeks ago. And Meghan is showing us that she wants nothing to do with it, that she really would rather be anywhere but the UK. And that's got to be hard for him, but it gives you a sense of the fact that they, as a couple, will not prioritize Harry having one foot in, one foot out. Harry, if is he likely to be punished at home for trying to figure out a way to have a permanent residence in the UK? Because Meghan, that's not high on her priority list. She'd rather focus their energy on American Riviera Orchard or whatever. I think that he probably does feel, in a bit of a tug of war. I do think that Prince Harry will embrace the Spencers a lot more, because that was, with all of the media surrounding Prince Harry's family not being there for him during the Invictus event. And it didn't matter what political side you were on, because it does seem like if you lean a certain way, you might be pro Harry and Meghan, and if you don't, you might be, no matter what side you were on, it felt like everybody was kind of saying, every news outlet that was kind of saying, you can't just you can't just kind of support this incredible thing called Invictus that legitimately, no matter what Harry has done in his personal life, it legitimately is an incredible cause. I mean, the royal family, I saw it, was being criticized for not sending somebody, whether it be Zara or Princess Beatrice, like anybody, to sit in the Invictus event and just to kind of have a presence there on the royal side. I saw that. So I understand that Prince Harry was probably immensely touched by the fact that the Spencers showed up to support him, because all of the headlines were that no one was going to be there to support him, not even his wife. But I do stress that my background, my interest in the royal family is all about Princess Diana. And I do strongly feel like both Harry and Meghan, but especially Meghan, try to manipulate people's love for Princess Diana to justify their bad behavior and their bad decisions. Meghan sitting, talking to Oprah Winfrey, saying, oh, my mom didn't even know that Diana did this interview with, Panorama. I mean, that's Meghan trying to justify sitting down doing an interview with Oprah Winfrey. And I do feel like Harry and Meghan utilize the love that people have developed for decades over Princess Diana to try to justify some of their actions, which I find appalling. So Harry will probably continue to lean on the Spencer side, yes, but it's a little distasteful to me because I see so much of them pushing that Meghan Markle is Diana 2.0, and that gets under my skin. We get a lot of talk from the Sussex camp, a lot of things on the horizon. What is American Riviera Orchard? I wake up every day and check American Riviera Orchard to see if there's a new Instagram post or any sort of movement on the website whatsoever. When is Meghan Markle's podcast going to come out with Limonada? We're hearing through the Daily Mail that that's postponed until 2025. A lot of projects on the horizon for Meghan Markle. What do we have aside from a polo show via Netflix is on the horizon for Prince Harry? What does he have going on? And I think that he could be happy in the United States if he found a purpose other than being a husband and a dad. I think that you need to have a purpose and you need to stay busy. But we see Meghan collecting kind of like job titles, but we actually have seen little to no execution on what she's doing. But we don't necessarily see that from Prince Harry. He was supposed to be a part of the Spotify deal that fell through. He did not produce any solo content. He participated in one Christmas special. Netflix announced that he's going to be producing, and I imagine appearing in a polo show, because I don't think that they would greenlight that unless he was physically going to be there. We know he shot some of that in Florida. He is a part of this. Sometimes he appears at live events for a mental health company out of San Francisco called Better Up. But what his day-to-day job description there is unknown, and some of the employees that were recently let go we're kind of commenting on that too. How much are we paying Prince Harry to do what when we are being let go from this business that we felt like we invested a lot of time and effort into? So I think Harry will miss being in the UK over the summer, but I feel like that's because he lacks a purpose and a direction here in the United States. And if he could find that, I wonder if he would have a more successful and enjoyable time here. Well, and that's why you're seeing them try to recreate that with Nigeria. And that's why you're seeing them saying, we're going to do more of these, because they have to revert back to the world he knows. Because I do think ultimately his skills are very limited because he's been brought up in a very sheltered life. And so you're going to see them try to recreate that with Nigeria. But also, if you look at, like I said, all of these new job titles that Meghan Markle has created for herself in the last few months, a future podcast host, producer, founder of whatever the heck American Riviera Orchard is going to be, blog/retail site/whatever, host of new cooking and entertainment show on Netflix. They veer so opposite of what we ever imagined Harry's life would ultimately be. And I do think when they left, Megxit, the idea of Megxit was us against the world. And now that they're settling into Montecito, they're realizing that maybe their direction professionally might not be as in sync as the big uproar and the leave that was them stepping back from the British royal family. And so Meghan is heading to red carpets and, La La Land, Hollywood, and she's enjoying the flashing light bulbs. I recently went back and read, and I'm so sorry I'm forgetting the name of the journalist, but I recently went back and read the article in the Daily Mail about a young entertainment journalist who was beaten into sitting down with Meghan Markle before she met Prince Harry for some glasses of wine. And she said that her publicist at the time typically did publicity for reality stars, and Meghan Markle was just so eager to be in the UK tabloids and just chasing down this dream of dating somebody in the UK, finding somebody rich and handsome in the UK, maybe famous, talking to Ashley Cole, and that has never been Prince Harry's life.